Chapter 167 to 168. Today was a sunny day. Things were peaceful in the City of Gold. The Shandians and Burkas, the only people who reside on this island, were living their everyday life peacefully. The few Skypieans working here also didn't have any problems. Life was peaceful and happy for them. All in all, without even wanting to, Amon has created a pretty decent place for people. Besides the golden architecture, there were normal houses, cafes, hotels, apartments, shops, and many more built all around here. The residents of Shandora was obviously many times slimmer than Angel Island and even many other Sky Islands. Still, this was treated as the capital of all Sky Islands. But not everything was peaceful here. While the ignorant mass was living a happy life, the people in the higher ranks were having disputes. Just like this one incident happening in the God's Shrine. Nico Robin and Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock was sitting on a stool with her legs crossed. She was coldly staring in front of her, where Nico Robin was sitting on the bed. Hancock's cold expression soon turned into disgust. "Nico Robin, you are pathetic!" Robin was thrown off hearing her. She just called here, out of context, and she was suddenly insulting her? What's wrong with this woman? Robin, with a frown on her face, retorted, "I am sorry, but why am I here?" "Of course you are here to listen to me and do as I say." Hancock raised her head. The arrogance was clear in her tone and expression. "I heard about you, so-called sister-in-law." "Yes, you should stay silent. That's the only thing you are supposed to do." Hancock looked at her mockingly. "First, you came closer to my hubby with the excuse of being his sisters. You manipulated the poor boy for a year. Then, when he was at his weakest, you jumped at his bed and seduced him. Do you still not feel ashamed to stay around him after all that happened?" Hancock finished talking with an angry glare. Robin was already frowning deeply. "Who told you that? You are not supposed to know this considering the short amount of time you spent here." Hancock's eyes twitched. "Ha, is that what you are concerned about? So it's true that you are thick-skinned." She got this information from asking around a few people. Amon didn't return to her room last night. This concerned Hancock. Did she do something unpleasant? Why is he ignoring her otherwise? Concerned, after asking around, Hancock got what she wanted. There was nobody who can refuse her questions after all. Of course, she misinterpreted the information she got. To her, Amon surely can't be the one going after Robin since he calls her his sister, or he would have gone after Rocky as well. So all the blame went to Robin herself. Robin chuckled softly. "You should be polite to your elders. I am older than you, I recall. Did nobody teach you that?" With Hancock growing, Robin then sighed shortly after. "Anyway, I am not sure who told you these things, but you should know. I don't care about the past anymore. What I care about is only my future with Lucy." Robin didn't care much about Hancock. Yes, it did put her off when she saw Amon acting all lovey-dovey around her, but it's not like she didn't know. Amon only brought Hancock here to use her, unlike herself. Hancock snapped hearing her. "So you are not denying anything, huh? You really did manipulate my poor love. No, that's not the problem anymore. Now that I am here, I will fix it." She got up and walked closer to Hancock, looking down at her face with her hands on her waist. "Get out of here this instant!" She glared at her. "A manipulative bitch like you don't deserve to be here. Stay away from my love's life." This is where Robin snapped too. "How dare a mere tool order me to leave Lucy?" Immediately, Robin crossed her hands. She won't fatally hurt Hancock, but she needs to teach her a lesson. Hancock realized what she was about to do. This must be she trying to attack me. So she's trying to harm me. Immediately, Hancock curled her fist and prepared for a strike. Robin didn't give it a thought and chanted, "Fleur, stop." But before any of the two could engage in a battle, Amon's voice interrupted them. Both Hancock's and Robin's eyes grew as they slowly looked at his way. Amon was wearing a terrible scowl. Reaching a conclusion, Robin gulped. "No, If he assumes I was trying to seriously harm her, he would be surely mad. Even if she is a tool, she is important." Hancock gulped the same way as she drew back her fist that was almost touching Robin's face. Robin did manipulate him, but it's true that he sees her as his sister, right? It would surely anger him to see her trying to strike her. Amon walked closer and glared at them both with taunting eyes. "I don't like these kinds of drama." He first looked at Hancock. "You are in Robin's room, so I can only blame you for everything." Shut up." He stared deep into her eyes, making her throat dry up. "Get out of here, I won't say it another time." Hancock's eyes grew as her eyes became wet. Her lips quivered as she nodded. "I understand. I will go away." She turned around and walked away with fast steps. The path she walked in got covered in tears. Seeing her go away, Robin sighed. She looked at Amon with a smile. "Of course, he loves me the most. And you, don't smile like I am over." Robin flinched as she heard Amon. "You did say she should respect you because you are older, right? It's only natural for you to look after her." This caused Robin to frown. She would have immediately retorted if not for the fact Amon slept with her last night. "Calm down. He cares about me more than that woman, or he would have been harsher." She sighed. "You never said you wanted me to look after her, so I didn't. Still, I thought you would be more responsible." Robin frowned again. "Responsible? Why should I always be on the submissive side? Why me? She came to my room, why did she? Was it me who called her? No, she came here by herself, deliberately." Of course, Amon knew it was Hancock's fault, but he also knew it was because she is just that much possessive of him. He can be harsh with her, and that would actually be fine considering her submissive personality, but that would mean this bad blood between Robin and Hancock would not subside. It's never good if his so-called harem members fight every time they are around each other. Besides that, Amon didn't like Robin's retorting personality. As she finished yelling, Amon didn't say anything. He rubbed his temple. Then, slowly walking closer towards the bed, he fell on his back. Amon covered his face with his hands, staying silent. "What?" Robin asked, super confused. "Hey, what happened?" "It's nothing." Amon sighed. Robin was immediately caught up in confusion as she jumped in the bed and sat beside him. Hey, what's wrong? Tell me." After staying silent for a while, Amon sighed and removed his hands from his face. His eyes were wet with a little redness present in them. "You have been talking to me with a frown on your face a lot lately." He gulped lightly. "Are you somewhat dissatisfied with me?" It was when Robin lost her all sense. What was this situation? She never saw him act like this before. No, she did. It was when he was young, when she still doubted him. In fact, she didn't even realize she has been talking with a frown on her face. Robin touched Amon's face with her shaky hands. I didn't realize it. I am sorry." Amon just shook his head. "It's fine. If you are doing that without realizing it, that means I really have been keeping you dissatisfied somehow. I don't want you to fake anything." He then mumbled, "But it still hurts knowing you subconsciously hate me." Robin yelled immediately, "I don't hate you. I swear, I don't." Robin started to breathe heavily. "I was just busy with work, so I had that frown. It's not because of you." No, that was not the case. She was quite dissatisfied with Amon, though only subconsciously. She has been working day and night for him, yet he orders him to stay humble around the new fuckmaid he brought? Her dissatisfaction was justified, but that didn't mean Amon would bear with it. So he used the pity card, which worked fantastically. Robin couldn't say anything more. She was lost for her words. Her body was trembling tremendously. Why am I such an ungrateful bitch? It's like last time. She just fell on his chest with a large gasp. "It's my fault. I am sorry." After a short silence, Amon placed his hands on her back and patted her. "It's all right. If you really mean it, just make sure to not talk to me like that after this. It aches my heart," Amon said while pushing Robin's head on his chest and grinning lightly. "After all, you are my sister. I will always forgive you." Robin's trembling calmed down. "Thank you." Amon kept patting her head. "Besides that, let me tell you a story. It's about 3 poor girls who were captured by the world nobles, how they lived their lives as slaves." Hancock was in Amon's bedroom, the room she'd been staying in for the past few days. She was sitting in the bed, hugging her legs, and looking down with hollow eyes. "He yelled at me." She was barely keeping her sense. "No, it's my fault I went after someone he cares. I am just an outsider. It's my fault I insulted someone close to him." Hancock smiled as she hugged her legs tighter. "I am just an outsider. Yes, that's right. I should always respect that woman, or he will yell at me more. Maybe he might leave me if I cross a line." As her moist eyes got moister, she slowly closed her eyes as sleep took over her. Knock. A knock fell on the door of the room, rendering Hancock to wake up. She rubbed her eyes and realized her cheeks were wet. She shook her head and wiped her cheeks with her dress and stood up. "Coming." She assumed it wasn't Amon. He usually teleports inside. Walking closer, she opened the door as Amon's face came from the other side. "Ah, hubby." Hancock stopped midway. Was she even qualified to call him that? She recalled, Amon even had a wife, but from what she gathered, she assumed it was a political marriage. But who is to say I am wrong about this as well? Maybe he loves that woman too. Hancock avoided eye contact as her gaze fell on the person behind him. It was Robin. "She is here too." Hancock again looked down, not daring to look at Robin's face. To her, Robin was a superior existence now, a person she can't hope to disrespect. "Hello?" Hancock said as she squinted her eyes around. Amon sighed and got away from Hancock and Robin's way. He said to Robin, "Finish what you two started." Hearing him, Robin walked ahead and bowed deeply. "I am sorry. I didn't realize you were just caring about Lucy. I didn't understand you only did what you did because you cared about his safety. But," she raised her head and said, "I can guarantee I am not a vixen. I don't want to harm him either." Hancock stayed silent as she realized Amon took the time to tame Robin. "So," Robin walked closer to Hancock and hugged her. "Let's get along together, all right, sister-in-law?" Hancock's eyes grew wide as she looked at Amon, instinctually asking what she should do. Amon mumbled, "Don't look here. I was also harsh to you. Sorry." Amon winked at her as her tears again started falling. "Thank you." She hugged Robin tightly while her tears fell on her shoulder. "Thank you very much for forgiving me." As the two of them exchanged sorries, the night fell upon them. Amon kept smiling from the sidelines. It was easy to make them get along. Both have a past with WG antagonizing them, so I just had to let them sympathize with each other. In the end, having a harem wasn't hard. You just need to play your cards right. Amon also had another idea. Sleeping with both of them in the same bed will strengthen their bond. No, I am just horny, whatever. Amon didn't care. He was the king of his own choices. It's just that these types of disputes won't be fixed so easily the next time. Amon paused. I slowly opened my eyes with sunlight instantly gashing inside, making me realize it was already morning. I yawned while rubbing my eyes. Then I slowly looked on both my sides. 2 women were lying naked beside me, their hands wrapped around me while they were sleeping with a smile on their faces. Boa Hancock and Nico Robin. They are a good bunch. By good, I mean they are good fuckmates. I sometimes reckon how fun it is being in this world, in so many ways. Anyway, although me banging both of them together and even manipulating them won't solve this problem completely, I do believe they will be tame for a few months, maybe even years. No, years may be too long. Though now the problem is Vivi. I wonder how she would feel when she finds out I am fucking the most beautiful woman in her absence. Ah, so fun. Anyway, enough fucking. I should rather plan my next move. For initials, I plan to send some specifically picked up individuals to go to North Blue and invade Germa 66. They would be free to cause as much destruction they like, but they have to defeat the whole Germa army in exchange. I won't interfere. I have other jobs to do. In the meantime, I would go to the Drum Kingdom and declare it as my territory. Taking over that kingdom would help me get in touch with Curaha and Chopper. I am good with medicines, better than Chopper. That I can guarantee. But I am nowhere near that old woman's level. And since I want op fruit, I do need good enough skills in medicine and surgery. Then, it's decided. I will leave today. General Pav. After going through the lift built on Giant Jack, one can reach God's shrine. It was breakfast time, and people inside the shrine were gathered around the dining table. Other than Amon, Rocky, Robin, and Hancock, and Karna, the ones who live here, other guests were also gathered inside the fabulous dining hall. Wiper, Issa, Isa, Karna, and even Otama were sitting at the large dining table. Issa was distributing food while everyone else was sitting. This type of large dine isn't an everyday thing. Today was just special. It would have been nice if Bob was here too. It would be a proper family reunion, Issa said while putting rice on Amon's plate. But he said he's busy. Such a bummer. Amon was still sleepy because last night he accepted his meal with a yawn. Maybe next time. Yeah, that. We did eat with him last time, so it makes up for it. But it would have been nice now that Hancock is here. She should meet her uncle-in-law. Issa replied as she offered some food to the person sitting on Amon's left. It was a yawning Hancock, who also released a smile at Issa. As Issa walked to Amon's right where Robin was sitting, she sighed while putting rice on her plate too. Also, I won't say much about last night since the kids are here, but be careful when there is more than one girl at the same time. If you show love to one while keeping the other at bay, she might feel hurt. I will, Sensei. Amon chuckled softly while Otama, who was sitting in Amon's lap, looked at his face with curiosity. Amon, bother. What is she talking about? As she said with a very curious face, Hancock almost choked on her food. Cough. She quickly drank water as she looked at Otama. You girl, you will know when you grow up and get married. Now stop asking questions, Hancock said with a slightly red face. She talked with Otama before. At first, she mistook her as Amon's child, but luckily, she was wrong. She didn't like her at first, seeing her so close to Amon, but she recently came to like her. Even her pride didn't stop her from liking this little energy ball. After that, Issa finished distributing the food as she also went back to her place and everyone started eating. Midway eating, Amon opened his mouth while looking at Wiper. That's right, Wiper. I won't be present in the next Germa 66 expedition, he said as Wiper looked at him leisurely. You will be in charge. Burn everything. Though before he could even finish his words, Issa's annoyed voice flowed to his ears. That's enough, Amon. I warned you previously, no business talk at the dining table. Amon sighed and shook his head slowly. All right. Your country, your rules. Yes, now eat, Issa ordered with a scowl, though it was apparent she was just acting. You have all your life's time waiting there for you to work. No need to ruin the precious time of dining. Yeah, right. Amon munched on some Sea King's meat as he kept eating with Hancock, feeding him her food every now and then. Just like that, the morning passed. After that, Amon sat in a cafe with Wiper to talk about the next exhibition. "So that's the gist of it," Amon finished saying. "Rocky won't be going, nor will I. It will just be you and the God's army. It will be very hard, harder than you can imagine, because they are strong. So do be careful, cousin." Wiper frowned as he grinned. "Be careful? Just because you are not going? Do you think I, Wiper, am weak? Ha, fine, I will show you this time. I will destroy them all." Amon chuckled softly as he played with his cup of coffee. "I want to see that, but it would still be pretty hard. The Germa is a large army. You can't possibly beat them all with a small number of 5,000 soldiers. You are strong, yes, but the higher-ups would keep you busy. In the meanwhile, the others would just be ganged upon by the whole Germa." Wiper rolled his eyes. "So, you're saying it's impossible for me? Meaning, are you testing me?" Amon shrugged. "More like I am giving you an opportunity. You will understand after coming back from this. Well, that's considering you make it back alive." Wiper went silent, hearing him. An opportunity? It was confusing, but he got the gist of it. He must be talking about the opportunity to awaken my fruit. I can feel it's just around the edges, Wiper thought with a shivering spine. Even that cheap girl Rocky surpassed me. I need to awaken myself to get back my position. Wiper grinned largely. "Amon," he called. "Prepare. I am going to challenge you once more after I come back." Amon smiled. "I am always prepared, warrior." Wiper didn't say anything more and stood up, walking away from the cafe. As Wiper left, another pair of footsteps caught Amon's attention as he looked at his side while smiling. It was Conis, who was wearing a calm expression. "Amon," she called. Unlike others, she calls Amon by his name because of her early friendship with him. Amon looked at her with a wink. "What's up, beautiful?" "I saw a few unregistered people entering the sky just now. They seem to be concealing themselves nicely. There are a total of 5 of them," Conis reported, ignoring his flirtatious attitude. She didn't like it a bit. In fact, it irritated her deeply. "I know. I already sensed them too. Don't worry, I will take care of them." Amon leaned on his back with a relaxed tone. "They are just the Cipher Pole." The Cipher Pole was here. A good opportunity. It seems Amon needs to delay his trip to the Drum Kingdom by a day.